it's Betsy Jordyn, and I'm so excited to interview Christy Ogilvie today. Not only is she the latest course creator that we helped, but she is one of my dear friends from high school, which we didn't know each other very well. Welcome, Christy.
Thank you so much for having me today, Betsy. This is amazing. I'm so excited to launch my new consulting business.
Well, what's really exciting is that you've been a consultant for a while and you've decided to start a course, and there's a lot of people who are thinking about courses. So let's go back in time where we first connected. Actually, let's bring everybody up to speed on how you and I know one another. So how do we know each other? And tell us a little bit about you.
Well, you and I go back to junior high and high school in Glenview, Illinois, near Chicago. But we reconnected because of social media during this pandemic, this never-ending pandemic.
That's right.
But I saw a comment in a thread of a mutual friend where you were talking about DISC personality understandings, and I thought that it was interesting, and I went to your profile and I was like, hey, wait a minute, I know her. And I sent you a note, and we ended up talking not only about DISC understandings and personality understanding, but I sort of unpacked the consulting that I'd been doing one-on-one pre-pandemic. And you were like, you know, you could create online courses for this and you would not be hemmed in by geography. And I went, ding, ding, ding. This is very exciting because the kind of people I work with are all over this country and frankly, all over the world. So that got me very excited enough to work for 6 months on making a brand new modality for teaching.
So it's not just a brand new modality, it's pretty awesome. Tell us more about your expertise and what you do and put some context together.
So I work with financial planners and wealth management advisors. What I do is I assist the teams that I work with in client relations. And that sounds boring, but it's not. It's when somebody asks me what I do, I say I charm people. And then I convince them to stay on top of their financial planning. So I realized quickly that what I do is different and special and very effective. And what I do basically is I take warm-hearted communication skills and pair them with CRM technology so that something that a lot of planning people and advisors in general find to be a pain in their tuchus. And I make it fun and efficient and really effective. So when I realized that it was different, I started my consulting business. And so the online courses are making it so that I can do this no matter where the advisor and that team are located.
Sounds like you provide something that's really unique to financial services firms. So it sounds like they do really well at advising their clients around their financial portfolio. And what you do is you come alongside them and train them on how to be great client relationship managers as well. And when they are able to engage their clients in a different way, what are they able to create that they wouldn't be able to create without you?
The thing that's different is financial planning is a very analytical business, but you need to understand the people that you're providing a service for in order to give them what they're looking for. They may have financial goals, they have dreams that they want to make come true, they may have children or grandchildren to educate, you name it. Then you pair that with the anxiety a lot of people have around money, and an analytical business has to be relational. So what I try to do is take financial planning teams out of transactional work and into relationship work.
Wow.
And you can have a smaller stable of clients for a lifetime instead of constantly going out and reselling piecemeal plans. And in the 7 years I've been with the teams I help, I'm noticing that over time, when they see my name show up on their phone or when I'm in their email inbox, I get these like, hey, Christy, or the email back like, what's going on, mama? And I'm like, this is a formal business, what's going on? But it's just that they've started to feel bound to us. And I love that. I love that. And I am scrupulous about keeping track of what people tell me. So when I call them or write to them, I'm like, hey, did you sell the house? Or did your grandson finish college? Or, you know, whatever they told me 3 months or 6 months prior, I just pick up that thread. And I do that with technology. So that's
interesting.
yeah.
So it sounds like you train your clients on how to use empathy and relationship skills to actually increase their revenue by making their clients super happy in terms of achieving what they really want, which actually helps them to grow their own revenue without having to go out and market and get more clients. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you did. Basically, I'm asking financial planning teams to engage with the people they've already sold a product to. I want them to see the opportunity that's in front of them and see that they can spend an hour or two a day or 5 hours a week maintaining and building those relationships. Because when you have trust and friendship, you not only get more business, but they will refer their colleagues and friends to your business. So you're not marketing, you're just being an awesome person who's good at their job, who then attracts more wonderful people to your practice. It's pretty fantastic.
So financial services firms could actually compete on the basis of their customer service, which is unusual for that industry. So that is really unique that you're able to do.
Yeah.
So this makes sense. So that when you were going back during the COVID time, it kind of accelerated what you started to say, which is you felt like you were going to cap out on how many clients you had available to you in Chicago area, which is where you live. But it sounds like you have a pretty hefty mission of how you want to help these firms with that big-hearted communication. And so the course is enabling you to go beyond. Am I hearing this accurately, or am I reading between the tea leaves properly, or is this it?
No, you're right. I feel so excited about the potential to reach people in every area of this country. You know, it doesn't matter if you live in Decatur, DeKalb, Peoria, or Chicago. It doesn't matter if you live in Lubbock or Houston or Dallas, Texas. It doesn't matter if it's a big city or a small city. It could be Burlington, Vermont. I can work with you and help somebody on your team, or sometimes the whole team, become really excellent at relationship management. And in the long run, you're doing less work because you're not selling all the time.
So let's go back to when you were talking about the course. So it sounds like you were doing a lot of that training live, and now you have a course. So what made you, outside of me saying, hey, this is a good idea, made you say, you know what, I really want a course? Like, what was it? What else was it about a course? And what did you have to overcome in order to get going on building that course?
Oh boy. So the reason I wanted the course is when I created the system that I already had, which is 8 Weeks to Mastery, that's what I was calling it. I had written and copyrighted a manual for that. And I've been working with teams one-on-one, in person at first, and then often with coaching phone appointments later. And this has been very successful. But when I saw the potential of putting my content into a visually appealing course online, I was like, oh, PowerPoints, oh, voiceover. Well, I've done a ton of voiceover, so that wasn't scary. PowerPoints were a little scary because I didn't really know how to make them, but Betsy, you made it easier. So that was good. But I did have to overcome my fear of new modalities, and I did have some freakouts and some some long text streams of like panicking because I didn't have a skill. But the lucky thing about being someone who trains other people to deal with their anxiety about skills is I know that that anxiety actually can be the push to the next level, and I welcome that, and I see the pattern in myself, and I see it in my own mentees. I overcame a lot to make the course, but now that it's complete, I am just full of excitement because I feel really unlimited potential to reach all the people that really could use some help. Because I feel like I have something special to offer, and it's not an average thing. And frankly, now that we aren't all working together in the same space, I'm noticing that in the before times, people who wanted to know what I was doing would often just come sit near me. They would spend a whole day sitting by me at my desk and listening to me talk on the phone, watching how I manipulated my CRM, asking me, how do you know what to say when the email's about this? And how do you respond if they say that? If this, then that, what? And we don't have that now. We don't have that office culture to help kind of climb the ladder and then put the ladder down behind you to bring the next person up. So I hope that financial planning teams are going to see what I have to offer and see the opportunity for their teams, that they don't have time to sit around training their staffer. And frankly, if their staffers across town or across the state, they've got me. They've got me. And I not only have a great standalone course, but I have mentoring skills. I've been doing this for years, not only in this business, but prior, I had a teaching studio for 20 years, teaching music. So I'm a pretty happy and skillful coach.
So it sounds like there's three things that doing a course and creating a course is creating value for you and for your clients. But it sounds like number one is just experiencing being on the edge of your current level of competence. Like that you knew you were walking off the edge, you hit it, you mastered it, and then you can move on. So it sounds like there's more opportunities that you could see even for your business now that you've mastered that. Yeah. Sounds like the second is that before, when you train people, a lot of times it was more intuitive, like they came by you, they'd ask questions, you'd answer it. But creating the course really forced you to get clear on, wait, what is in my secret sauce? What is actually my recipe for success? And getting all of that out. And then the third, it sounds like, is that you have a different way of how you can help your clients, is that by having a course, you can go with their people wherever their people are, whether they're across town or in other places, that you're always available. Yeah. That's really powerful.
It's super powerful. And because we have this tech where we can talk to each other in Chicago and Orlando in real time, we can do this anywhere. You know, I can have a client in Germany. So I can have a client in Japan.
That is the best part. That's my favorite. Actually, for me, that's my favorite part of an online business, is having clients from everywhere and having an opportunity to expand your reach. But you did such a good job on your course. Do you mind if I just give everyone a little sneak peek of what you got?
Show it.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So this is Christy's course. Christy, do you want to just walk everyone who's watching through just big picture of what's all included in your course and what kind of value people can get if they get into your course?
This course is called 8 Weeks to Client Relationship Mastery. And it is just shy of 3 hours of content. And I designed it to take the learner step by step through understanding every element. And yes, the first part is the client perspective. Because if you're trying to engage people, the first thing you need to do is put yourself in their shoes. You want to try to think like they're thinking and understand why they respond the way they do. Some of that is about where they are in that moment, and some of that is about who they are as a person, which took us to the DISC understandings that you and I started talking about back in April. So I literally break it down. Client's perspective, how to talk to people, how to write to them, how to break down the uses of technology to make contacting simple, because it's not like you reach out with an email or a phone call and they immediately answer you. That's not how the world works. People need often multiple touches to get them to respond. And I make that system really user-friendly and customizable. I give a ton of scripts. I give email templates. I offer live coaching on speaking on the phone with people of all kinds of moods and personalities, which is hysterical while you're learning. I get into the nitty gritty of how to work with people and their schedules. I break things down into literally how to structure your day so that you can be effective. And I'm into, I just get so excited about it all. I feel like such a nerd. I'm a total nerd for this stuff.
Well, I sure hope you're a nerd for what you do. That seems like a requirement. We should all be nerdy about our area of interest. What I think is really exciting about what you're talking about here is it sounds like you start off from the big picture and then you move it into like the practical tools and then you move it into the implemented reality. Like you go big picture, now you got your tools, now you go walk it out. And I'm also hearing between the lines here is that you don't offer just the course alone, but it's something that's going to accelerate your overall consulting experience. That it's not like just because some people like want to get a course just to make money off of a course, but you have another purpose for your course, which is really to expand the value of what you do with your clients.
Yeah, there's ongoing mentoring. I have found with just about everybody I've trained, which is a couple dozen at this point, that they get the main stuff, whether they do it in 8 weeks or some people take a little longer. It just depends how busy their schedule is. But they always come back to me with more questions. I call them sticky wickets. They come to me with the client with the goofy attitude. They're hot and cold, they're brusque, they're rude, but they're a very high value client. And like, what do you do and how do you communicate with that person? And I have experienced all these things, so I can give them really helpful guidance. And another thing I offer that I think I wish I'd learned when I was coming up, which was not to be afraid of errors. I think a lot of clients are really charmed when you say, oops, or that was my mistake and I'm going to fix it right now. Or if you can't fix it right now, that was my mistake and I will have it finished for you and corrected by this hour on this day. And fulfilling your promises, like the humanity of making a mistake and then fulfilling the promise of fixing it is so refreshing to people that I'm actually almost glad when one of my mentees makes an error. I'm like, oh, you have a huge opportunity now to show these people, and my cat, to show these people what kind of person you are and that you operate with honor, because it's rare.
And I think it's so interesting because you could apply it to your own experience. What you said at the beginning is anytime that you're in that place where you're making mistakes, you're not necessarily knowing what you're supposed to do, you're actually in the right zone anyway. Everything's a learning opportunity. One of the things I always ask, and I think you and I talked about at the beginning, is just starting off this process with the beginner's mind, that just because you taught live doesn't mean you know how to teach online. And just because you created one course doesn't mean that you know how to do the second course. There's always these moments of, I don't really know. And it's about the more perfect business and the more perfect professional that you're going to become.
Yeah.
So now if you were going to summarize, so now let's say we look at the whole scope of our whole course creation process, what would you say is the biggest thing that you personally got out of creating your course? Like, how are you different as a result of this experience?
I trust myself more. I trust my instincts more. I trust the process more, the timing more. And I'm really grateful that I have had your guidance and sort of open, good-humored acceptance of my process, because we're all, I think those of us that are trying to offer consulting services, I call myself an outdoor cat. I don't fit in well with office culture in its sort of blandness. I'm too sparkly. And I also like my own hours and I like my own calendar. So if I know that I have 2 weeks coming up where I have to be in and out of offices, like I'm really good with that because I know that the week after all that's over, I'm going nowhere. I'm going to be like in my living room doing yoga and listening to music, and I can like regroup and fill my well. So this process has really helped me to see that the way I am is fine, and that what I have to offer is super valuable and not average.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that from the beginning, but it took me a while to accept it. People kept sending me their staffers and going, can I just buy you lunch and you'll let so-and-so learn from you? And the first 3 or 4 times it happened, I was like, oh, that's so flattering, sure. And then I mentioned it to another friend who is a consultant, and she's like, girl, no, don't be giving your stuff away for a sandwich. This is like a gourmet weekend away learning to cook alongside a chef. That's what this is. And now that many financial advisors have used my service and I see how their practices have grown, and how their staffers are so much happier and more comfortable and fed by what I gave them. That's everything. I want to do that like 100 times and then 100 more times. I want the whole world to be what one of the teams I assist calls me. They say I'm the unicorn because I'm the only one. And I say, let's make a herd of unicorns. Let's spread beautiful, relational, big-hearted service all over the country and all over the world because I'm altruistic.
Well, I love that. I definitely want to help you, create those herds of unicorns, which I'm sure your course will.
Herds of unicorns. Yes.
I love that. And I love the outdoor cat. I'm going to have to borrow that one because I feel like a lot of us consultants is like, not only are we outdoor cats and coaches as well, we just need to own that positioning of being an outdoor cat because that gives us the positioning and the perspective that everybody in on the inside don't have. But it sounds like the big thing of how you're different is it seems like through the process, and I remember when we were working on the learning objectives and the value of the program and all that kind of stuff, is that you kind of had all the thoughts like in a lot of different areas, but being able to get it to words that you could use in the course, it forced you to drop your value proposition from here deep into here. Like now you know what you know, and now you have a tool that actually manifests what you know. Like you have your life work is manifested in a tangible way that other people can access and replicate. And that's really powerful.
I mean, I don't know why it takes some of us so long to accept that what we have is valuable, but like sometimes I feel like I'm finally here in my 50s and I'm like, I'm a big girl now, like there's a big part of me that's like, my feet go all the way to the floor and I can command real income and who I am is valuable. And I don't know why it took me half of a lifetime.
And it's, that sparkly personality who can command a space. I remember her in high school walking through the halls singing, but now she has a course that, manifests that song, but you're the same person, but deeper. And I just love that. It's not like you're become a different person. It's just what's here goes here and now it's in your body. And now it's more of an empowerment kind of tool that you have as much as anything.
Yeah, massive.
So if you were going to go back in time when we first started chatting and you were having your questions and you could talk to that younger version of you, what would you tell her about the process to continue to motivate and encourage her?
I would tell that younger me that her instincts have always been good. I would tell her that her loyalty and her trust in people should be placed where it belongs and not given away easily. And I would tell her to work hard and to dream really bigger than she has let herself.
Would you give her any of the warnings about the tech stuff and any encouragement about the tech stuff that was a little overwhelming?
I would tell her to believe that the answers were coming in their own time.
Okay. That it's fine. The answers will come.
It's going to be fine.
All right. So if somebody wants to learn more about your course, if you're a financial services firm and you want to turn your team into big-hearted communications experts who can engage your lukewarm clients, where do they need to find you, and what do they get when they get on your website?
they need to come to my website and watch the videos and read a little bit about what I offer. The site is www.ogilvie-consulting.com. Ogilvie is Ogilvie, not with a Y, I-E.
Watch your videos for sure.
Yes, watch those videos because you're going to get a little sense of what I offer as a coach. And I kind of break down the courses in the website, and then I'll be happy to do a 20-minute consultation with you to see how I can help your practice.
Awesome. And if you want to start creating a course to expand the value of what you offer as a consultant or coach, definitely let us know. Join me over at betsydjordyn.com and schedule a free consult with Jen and I, and we would love to help you as we've loved helping Christy, and you might even have an opportunity to meet Christy in one of these days.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Christy, for your time. It was so great.
Thank you so much.